and then we'll connect to Facebook Live. So live on Facebook.
All right, we're gonna go live on Facebook now.
Oh.
And just before I click the button, I'm going to be presenting PowerPoints for the first 15 or 20 minutes, and then I'll switch to the Q&A. I'll ask one question and then have everybody go around and answer, and then ask another question. While I'm presenting, I can keep your microphones on, just make sure that there's not a lot of background noise, but I'll just keep them on so we don't have to worry about turning microphones on or off. All right, we're going live.
Okay. So you can change the title and the description.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay. And then change this to.
So I turned off the camera and I used once again.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Give it a
Okay, great.
from here.
Wait.
I also turned off the camera and I use it once again to check if it is working.
Using
No.
activate the Zoom window.
I don't know how to use it or no.
Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. So we are now live on Facebook. Welcome. I am joined today by three lovely Bridge educators that are going to have the chance to share with you their iEARN story and their Bridge story a little bit today. I am going to, though, share my screen and switch over to slides and give you a little bit of an introduction. All right, so we've had a day packed full of sessions learning all about the different iEARN projects presented by different staff members here in our office. My name is Rachel Manley. I am a program manager here at iEARN-USA. I was a previous educator myself. I taught for about 8 years in different countries, different settings, different grade levels. Most recently, I was a 4th grade special education teacher. And I, over the years, have grown very passionate about global education and made the big decision about 1.5 years ago to leave the classroom and join the iEARN-USA team here in New York. And it's one of the best decisions I have made. I am now managing the Bridge program for iEARN. So today I am going to share with you a little bit about the program, what it does, who's involved, and let you hear from some of our educators who have gone through the program. So we'll give a quick overview. We'll talk a bit about activities in the program and its impact. I am going to spotlight a few schools. We will have an educator panel where we will hear from 3 of our rockstar global educators from the Bridge program and share a little bit about how you could get involved. So the Bridge program, which is actually an acronym that stands for Building Respect Through International Dialogue and Global Education, is a part of the Stevens Initiative, which provides professional online training and curriculum-based virtual exchange activities for educators in the Bridge program, which to connect acronym that means in the Middle East and North Africa. Building respect, international dialogue, and global education. I'm hearing a bit of the background. I'm actually going to ask my panelists who are on if they could mute themselves. I think that might help. Just 1 second.
I turned off the camera and I
Okay. All right, I think it's fixed. So in the Bridge program, educators from the US and educators from the Middle East and North Africa get the opportunity to engage in online professional development. Then they connect their students and their classrooms through asynchronous and synchronous activities that culminate in video conference connections and community and global exhibitions. So the Stevens Initiative is our grant funder for the Bridge program. The Stevens Initiative is an international effort to build career and global competence skills for young people in the US and the Middle East and North Africa by growing and enhancing the field of virtual exchange, online, international, and collaborative learning. In the Bridge program, we have in 10 countries in the Middle East and North Africa. So we have teachers in classrooms from Algeria, Egypt, Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, Morocco, Palestine, Tunisia, UAE, and Yemen, who are all connecting with classrooms in the United States. You can see a few pictures here from some of our educator workshops from these partner countries. During the Bridge program, educators go through 4 main components. They start with some form of a workshop. This typically takes place in their own community, in their country, and led by an experienced iEARN educator or facilitator. This is where teachers are introduced to iEARN and global collaborative projects for the first time and start to prepare themselves for the Bridge program and the professional development. Then they move on to our online educators course. And this is a 5 to 6 week online course in which the teachers in the program are connecting with teachers from all of the partner countries to engage in conversation and dialogue around global collaborative projects, how to integrate the work into their classroom. They talk about online dialogue and how to prepare their students for online dialogue and exchange. They share resources and ideas, and they work to select an iEARN project that's going to best fit their curriculum and their classroom. After they've completed that professional development piece, they move into the project practicum. During this time, they involve their entire class or a small group of students to select one of 5 Bridge projects. Then they have their students complete the projects, connect with one another in the online space in our collaboration center, and engage in online dialogue with peers from their partner countries. The culminating event or activity of the Bridge program are global and local exhibitions. Once teachers and students have completed their project, they engage in some form of local exhibition to share their work with a wider, more authentic audience. They also will engage in a global exhibition, which may take the form of a video conference or sharing some sort of media in the collaboration center to share out and celebrate their project work. We are coming up on our 4th cohort of educators going through the Bridge program, so about 2 years going now. And thus far, we have conducted 40 workshops in 11 countries. Over 300 teachers have participated in the 5-week online course, which in turn have engaged over 7,000 students collaborating in 5 different project practicums, culminating in there have been more than 30 local and global exhibitions of student work. So I just want to give a quick spotlight to a few schools who have engaged in the Bridge project work over the last few years. The first is a teacher from Los Alamitos, California, Alan Witten. He completed the Bridge program this last spring. He had a great connection and relationship with a classroom in Algeria, and they were engaging in the Future Citizens Project. So I just want to give you a quick clip, we won't watch the whole thing, of his classroom as part of their culminating exhibition to wrap up their project, connected on video conference with the class from Algeria.
Information and send it on to Sunburst Youth Academy. You'll see some pictures later today. That's great.
About Algeria. My questions are, how many times does a president get re-elected in your country?
Well, let me explain that. We have something which isn't normal in our country. Before we had the rule that a president should be elected only twice, as only periods of presidency. But it was changed, it was extended in the recent years. So we have a long time president now.
Do you guys use like Instagram and Snapchat over there?
Of course, excuse me. We're just planning to ask you that. I'm sorry. We were planning on asking you that. We hope that we get in contact in first.
Oh, yeah.
I love seeing footage.
Wish you were there. And we really wish you were there.
Oh.
How I wish you were here. We're just two lost souls year after year.
I should get up this time.
Running over the same old ground. What have we found? Same old fears right here.
Yes, no. Yeah. Okay. And I deserve it, I know I deserve it. No, it's becoming something that's impossible to ignore. And that's what we make it. I was wondering, maybe could I make you my baby? If we do the unthinkable, would it make us look crazy? Oh, would it be so beautiful? In the way I'm saying, if you ask me, I'm ready. Do you wrap your hair for a religious purpose?
Yeah. Oh, this one.
Yes.
Oh, it's called hijab.
Oh, hijab.
Do you want to just
Actually, because I respect that and because it belongs to my religion, I prefer to wear it.
It's beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful.
girls are not really obliged to wear it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of opinions about hijab. But we prefer to, girls in our countries prefer to wear it in order to protect themselves from
Actually, we wear it to protect our soul.
Well, in America, we consider it beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Beautiful. That's really.
Another answer.
Okay. Well, I've always wanted to be born in a different country, but I think I'd rather be born in Algeria. But I like it here in America, California too. So maybe you guys can come over here and we can hang out.
We hope so. We really want to, but there are a lot of problems facing us. And we talked about that in the rights of humans. We think that traveling should be more free and think that we should have travel whenever we want to any place we want in the whole world.
I agree with that. I agree with you.
Believe me, it's a dream. It's a dream of all of us to go to America. We have the American dream.
All right. I love that video. It just really, really captures the connection, the interest, the passion of these students to reach out and connect with one another. And it shows their interest to connect on a social level with one another and really get to know one another. It shows their desire for friendships across borders, across oceans, as well as their real interest and intrigue into one another's cultures. And that was just a short connection and a short clip of two teachers' experiences during the Bridge program. I also want to quickly share another video which really captures students' perspective in the Bridge program and shows what one school did to share the work with their community. In this video, you'll see a school that is conducting a hunger banquet. This classroom was a part of the Bridge program last fall, and they chose to be a part of the Finding Solutions to Hunger project. And in that project, they research hunger and poverty around the world. They address questions like, if there's enough food in the world, then why are people still hungry? Who's hungry around the world? Why? And one of the culminating events that they can choose to do is hosting a hunger banquet. And so I am going to share this video of a school in Winchester, Virginia, John Hanley High School, which has quite a few teachers that have gone through the Bridge program, and they have really shown through as a fantastic school for global collaboration and global education, so much so that we are going to be hosting our International iEARN conference at John Hanley High School this July. So let's take a look at this video.
You must go to a shelter for the homeless to get food, clothes, and medical care. It's not just being aware, but it's also knowing what can I do to make a difference. It starts not with me, not with you, but each one of us.
I remember we were talking about like who gets to eat in a family. Then this one person was like, well, the girls don't get to eat because the boys do all of the work. Yeah, and at first I was like, we were very shocked, and then we were like, oh wait, that's how it is. It's very eye-opening. Basically, we are conferring with students in other countries about things that we've learned about hunger, and learning where hunger was, which was actually really surprising because it wasn't where I thought it was at all.
And two waiters from the other. You said you would do that, and Claudia. This is interesting for them because it's authentic, it's real, it's current. No one in the United States is hungry. It's not something that they've read about and that's 5 years old. It's right now.
Madame had this hunger banquet planned out way before we knew about it.
Well, to John Hanley High School and this hunger banquet, sponsored by students in Miss Middlehoff's and Miss Delmata's classes. A random ticket gives you little control over how much food you receive, in the same way people in the real world have little control which economic situation they are born into.
And we'd have a sub, and we'd be like, where's Madame? She'd be like, oh, I'm doing iEARN.
iEARN came to talk about this global outreach project and enables us to have lesson plans that are incorporated then into our classroom.
I think it's better that we like show them rather than just tell them. Yeah, you're not gonna want to make a difference unless you like see the problem. It's going back to the thing with iEARN where we're like collaborating with the other people in the other countries, and it's better than just reading about their culture we're experiencing.
Great. That's just another example of one of the projects that takes place during the Bridge program and really highlights the exhibition work that culminates the project work. Again, teachers in the Bridge program are selected from one of 10 countries in the Middle East and North Africa, as well as the US. They are middle and high school educators doing the work, and for a semester long, they are engaged in those 4 main program activities: workshop, online educators course, engaging your students in an iEARN project practicum, and then culminating with some form of exhibition. So I will end today with how you can get involved with the Bridge if you're an educator, or how you can share the work. But before we jump to that, I have 3 really fantastic global educators who are willing to join me today from their prospective locations and countries to share a little bit about their experience in the Bridge program and how it helped them to incorporate global collaborative projects into their classrooms. So I am going to quickly introduce oops. All right. So we have Saliha joining us from Algeria today. Saliha joined the Bridge program, I believe, last year. She was one of our first educators to join from Algeria. We have Rashid from Morocco. He was a Bridge educator this last spring, along with Olivia, who is here in New York City in the US. And all 3 of these educators had the opportunity to meet one another in Morocco this last July at our iEARN International Conference in July. So I am going to switch over so you can see their video. Great, and we will get started. So I would just love to start with each of you introducing yourself. If you can let us know your name, where you're from, where you teach, what grade level and subjects you teach, and then if you also wouldn't mind sharing just quickly your introduction to iEARN, so when you joined the Bridge program and what project you joined with Bridge, or if you've done any projects after Bridge, you can share that. So let's just go, I'm gonna go in order of my screen. So I'm gonna start with Olivia, if you wanna start us off.
Sure. So hi everyone, my name is Olivia Ramirez and I work in the Bronx, New York City. I work at Marble Hill High School and I'm a science teacher. What else am I supposed to say? I mostly teach science and I also teach health. And I started with iEARN in the Bridge program last spring. The first project that I was on was One Day in the Life in the spring of 2017. And since then, after I came back from Morocco, I'm currently in the My School, Your School project with one class this semester.
Great, thanks. Saliha, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, Saliha Bel Hassan. I'm a high school teacher at Mustafa bin Boud'aid in Constantine, Algeria. I started using iEARN project since 2015. Until now, I'm considering myself as a participant and a member in iEARN My project was about heritage, tradition, and identity, your identity and my identity. And this year, I'm just working on a new project with my country coordinator. I think it's about environment.
Great, thank you, Saliha. Rashid?
Hello, everyone. My name is Rashid Shnishni. I'm from Morocco. I teach 11th and 12th grade. My experience with iEARN started firstly with Bridge program, especially with my identity, historical landmarks at famous places. And this year, working with different projects in iEARN, because my students are divided into 4 types, because there are those who love finding solutions to hunger, those who focus on girls rising, education for all, and also there are those who focus on machine to Hiroshima for peace and my heroes. So I have to do a big effort this year, these different projects. That's all I think. Thank you.
You're very ambitious, Rashid. That's great to hear.
Thank you so much.
Great. So the first question I would like to ask each of you is if you could share with us 1 to 2 skills that your students have gained from participating in the Bridge program and iEARN projects. And to make it easy, we'll just keep to the same order.
Okay. So I would say that the main skill that my students have been, as I've noticed, have been growing with is perspective. And to give you an example, a few weeks ago, I showed a video to my students who are in the My School, Your School course right now. And it was a video from Malawi that the students had made and had shared with us. And after watching the video, they completely changed their perspective on how to design the videos that they were going to make. We kind of talked about it, and they realized that the things that they had planned on showing in their video were probably not the best. They thought about what the students would want to see instead of what they wanted to show the students. So in terms of that perspective, and also they also realized that they needed to do simple things like speak more slowly and not use slang, and sort of speak simply when they were making their video, because they were now thinking about the audience that they were creating the video for, and not simply thinking of them as, oh, this is my friend, this is my cousin, this is someone who I'm trying to share my life with, but I might also need to explain a lot more. So they've gotten a lot of perspective in terms of the audience that they're working with. And they now know that their world looks a lot different than that my students' world looks a lot different from what their peers' world might look like in other countries.
Great. So it sounds like a lot of global perspective taking and even developing those skills of intercultural communication as far as how they're going to present themselves to be understood. Great. Thank you. Saliha?
Okay, I think that for my students, I have 2 skills that my students gained from the Stevens Initiative while participating in the Bridge program and iEARN. The first skill was, I think, was my students gained is their collaboration with pupils with students from different parts of the world. While discussing global projects, and such work or such project gives them or opens their mind to understand that to understand the diversity while participating, connecting, sharing their work and so on. For my students, they were so glad and proud of themselves while preparing a work, such a project, and sharing it with other students with different backgrounds, different language, and in different places. I think a second skill that my students gain too is my students generally lack access to international experience, and the online courses or the virtual exchange gives them the opportunity or provides them the opportunity to share their work and even to improve their language. Why not perhaps this improvement will be used as a tool for their future career. I can say that my students have found, or they confirmed, all of them confirmed that their participation or the feeling of becoming a part of a global community boost them to prepare and implement a real project work.
Great, thank you so much, Saliha. I think too it's important that a lot of our students who are non-native English speakers use this as a form to improve language in addition to increasing global understanding and connection, and also the workforce readiness, the career readiness, preparing our students for the future is very universal. Thanks. Rashid?
I think the skills that my students gained from Stephen's initiatives while participating in the bridge program, the first one is related to communicative skills, because my students in the class feel shy when they want to participate or speak the language. But when it comes to participating in the bridge program and they work as a group and present their work here in Morocco, in Mehdia, in the first small conference and in the international conference, when my students come back, they ask me to provide them with dictionaries, with videos to know how to speak the language, especially the slang Americans use, because they have a lot of friends and they want to interact with, to communicate with. And also they tell their friends who are in school, and a lot of number of students come to me, teacher, we want to participate in iEARN projects, we want to speak the language, we want to communicate. And this makes me really feel so happy, because now English has a place in our school, and most of students in the school want to speak English. Why? Because the international conference which we attend, I think about 50 countries all over the world, all of them speak one language, which is English. And this makes them feel aware that the importance of language to help them communicate not only within the context they are living in, but also with the world around. So this is the first one. So communicative skills and the importance of English. The other skill is the mutual respect. When students work in groups and they help each other, they feel that they work at. And the most global of the world is a really small town, and this help them learn by doing. So we move from theories to practice. So when they use the language in the real context, and this help them respect each other and respect everyone from different countries in the world. So two skills are gained: communicative skills and mutual respect. That's all it.
Great, thank you so much. I'm hearing that students across classrooms are gaining a lot of very valuable 21st century skills, communication skills. Students in the Bridge program who participate in an iEARN project through the Bridge program are gaining mutual respect and understanding of others. They are increasing their communication skills, their English skills, their intercultural and cross-cultural communication skills, as well as developing their perspective of others. Great, thank you so much. So our next question that I would love for each of you to share with us is shifting to the teacher and your experience in the Bridge program. How has the Bridge program and iEARN changed your teaching?
So to start, to explain, when my use of iEARN is only on one class in one day of the week. So that schedule kind of limits what I can do, how often I see the students, and that's a bit of a challenge for me. So it has been a challenge as a teacher and a stretch in terms of the kinds of skills that I'm using. The first thing that I would say is that I have, and this is a normal skill as a teacher, but I've flex this muscle, is to have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C on what I'm going to do on the day that I'm scheduled to see my students for us to work with the iEARN project. And that is because certain things can happen. We might have no internet at my school. We might have an emergency event. We might have no updates on the iEARN forum since the last time, just because other schools haven't had time to post. And also maybe there might be issues with trips at my school. So there's a lot of reasons why it's kind of challenging to plan. But I do end up planning, okay, if this doesn't work, what can I do at this point? And if this doesn't work, what can I do then? And it really helps me be creative about how I can stretch the topic of, in this case, now we're sharing our school experiences, but how I can stretch that topic so that it doesn't just rely on going to the iEARN forum and posting a comment and sharing a picture or something like that. I really have to use a lot of creativity in how I expand that topic for the students to make it more global and less, we're just going to post on this forum, we're just going to post on this forum. So in addition with that, another thing that I've been really lucky to do is, I mentioned I'm a science teacher, and so I normally only collaborate with other science teachers, maybe a math teacher. But in working with iEARN, I've been able to work with a history teacher in close collaboration, and that has really helped because her perspective is totally different than mine, and it really has strengthened the work that we do, and we kind of bounce ideas off each other. And I really appreciated the chance to work with someone else in my school that I never would have worked with before. So I think that's helping my my planning skills a lot.
Great, thank you, Olivia. Saliha?
Okay, I think that my my experience or my teaching with iEARN and the Bridge program, I think that both have changed my my way of teaching at a great extent. First, I found myself implementing my project work in a real life. As a teacher, I took part in on-course online course, and it is a process that I ignored completely at the beginning. Something else, I think that the Bridge program and iEARN, through them, I discovered the power and the real power of the intercultural communication as a tool for learning in and out of the classroom. I think that the virtual exchange helped me a lot, or helps me a lot in varying my my ways and my methods in my teaching process, while I'm applying, while collaborating and sharing and working. I got also a trustful relationship while while discussing or through my various workshops and discussions on a global matter. I think that I can say that while working with iEARN and the Bridge program, you feel as an educator that you are really playing a positive role in your work. This is what I get from iEARN and the Bridge program, that I was playing a great role, a positive role in my work as a teacher.
Great, thank you. Rashid?
So for me, my teaching style has changed a lot thanks to iEARN and Bridge programs. Why? Because firstly, I started using projects after each unit, and each project we choose is related to iEARN or Bridge project. For example, when we study a unit about cultural values, etc., so we have to follow the steps provided by Bridge or iEARN, etc. And I tell my students that this criteria is international one. So you are international learners, you have to know this, and you have to do certain projects, etc. So I prepare them implicitly to be future participants and future members of iEARN and Bridge programs. The second thing I gained a lot, which using technology in teaching. So sometimes I create certain video clips, etc., to help my students understand the certain skills that they cannot understand in the class. And sometimes when it comes to Bridge programs, I create certain video clips and explain them the tips to follow, whether in English or other languages with which they feel comfortable with, etc. Especially when I put myself in the shoes of my students, because it's difficult to use internet connection in the area where I'm studying because of some things beyond our control. That's why we look forward some skills that we have to use. So my students also gain a lot from this experience because they start thinking about project after each unit. So we have projects, of course, but now we are working on global projects. For example, girls raging, finding solutions to hunger, etc. And I give my students the freedom to choose whatever they like. And another thing which is changed in my teaching style is the teaching itself, because I learn and teach and I learn and teach, etc. So I become a student and a teacher at the same time. Why? Because every day I find that my skills are improving thanks to being a member of iEARN and Bridge programs.
Great, thank you so much, Rashid. You can see that teachers in the Bridge program themselves gain a lot of new understanding and skills going through the professional development and then experiencing the projects with their students as well. One thing also to note here is that one unique thing about our professional development in the Bridge program is that these educators are connecting with one another during the duration of the program as well. So they're not just connecting their students during the online educators course and then throughout the projects, they are communicating and connecting with the other teachers in their partner countries, which is developing the teachers' cross-cultural understanding and communication skills and collaboration across disciplines, across subjects within your schools, as well as across countries. So thank you very much. So we are going to end with one last question. I would love for each of you to briefly answer the question of, would you recommend the Bridge program for other educators in your country or other countries, and why?
So definitely I would recommend the Bridge program for educators in the United States. I find that, well, I work with teenagers and their worlds are a little bit smaller.
Oh, I think we lost Olivia. Okay, hopefully she'll be able to connect back on. But Saliha, do you want to jump in and tell us why would you recommend Bridge and why?
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, I think that after attending the annual conference and the youth summit in Morocco in 2017, the experience with the Bridge program and iEARN was so beneficial and fruitful for me, and it enhanced me to be more active, more involved, and more engaged. As I kept working with my country coordinator about a new project. At the same time, we are encouraging some teachers to take part and to share global projects and to take part also in the project program as a part of their classroom program. As an educator, I think that I deduce that it's so vital to involve educators to share and take part in such programs in order to help each other and to share, and even in order to vary the way of their teaching, and also to get the best practices in the field of education. This is what I can say.
Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Rashid?
I 100% recommend Bridge programs to other educators all over the world, simply because their teaching style will really get improved. I'm going to tell you just a very short story, because most of my students who were last year members of Bridge programs, they are now in different classes. And one of the English teachers came to me and said,
what happened there?
Oh no, we keep losing him. Uh-oh. Oh, I think he's back. You know, I'm always impressed that with the advances in technology that we can connect somebody from New York, Algeria, and Morocco, and now we can stream it to Facebook for everybody to see. It's pretty impressive.
Do you hear me?
Okay, great. Rashid is back.
That's correct, yeah. So as I told you before, one of the English teachers came to me and said, what is iEARN? Because one of your students is really highly motivated in the class, and they say from time to time, iEARN, what iEARN is. And I explained iEARN to him, and if he really wants to be a member, and he showed a great desire to be one of Bridge members. And also other students now is studying in another high school and telling other students to be members of Bridge. So, and another thing which is really very important, we mostly read about teaching outside the box and not inside the box, which is the classroom. So now with Bridge programs, it is really the ability for teachers to teach students outside the box, which is outside the classroom, to be global learners, to improve their creativity and critical thinking and become global learners and enhance the concept of peace all over the world. So I strongly recommend Bridge program to other teachers.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you were able to connect again. We'll see if Olivia is able to get back on. But in the meantime, I do want to give a little bit of time. If there is anybody who is watching this on Facebook right now, if you have any questions, this is a great opportunity where we have teachers from, well, currently 2, hopefully 3 different countries that you can ask about their experience with the Bridge program, ask about their teaching experience, any questions that you might have for them or for myself about the Bridge program. So I'm gonna give it just a minute to see if there's any questions. Their experience with the Bridge program, ask up. Well, there aren't any questions yet, but there is a message from Faye Stump that she wants to say that all of you are wonderful and Rashid and Olivia are worth waiting for, even with technical glitches. And she wants to say hello to everybody. And many other people are saying such a great job, and they agree with everything you are saying and have enjoyed hearing your experiences. Let's see. All right, I don't think there are any questions. And there's another person participating, Besma, who would like to say to everybody that she also highly recommends the Bridge program. So I want to give, if Saliha or Rashid, you have any last words you want to share with anybody to say goodbye, I'll give you the chance to do that. And then I'm going to switch and share a slide for how you can get involved with iEARN.
Okay, if it's possible, I can say something. I say just that thanks to 7 initiatives that funded the Bridge program and iEARN, and I think that I consider it as a melting pot for that brings all educators and students together to learn, to develop project work, and also to learn about the best practices in the field of education. More than that, even to learn about peace in the world. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Saliha.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So can I start? Okay, so what I want to say, I really thanks 1.5 million STEM's initiatives, Bridge programs, iEARN for everything they do for us and for the world, for the whole world. for me, now I'm living with memories when it comes to remembering what we have done last year, etc. And I'm all desire to get involved in different projects to enhance my teaching, my learning, and also to involve my students and to enable them discover the world and how projects are done. It's really, really, so now we feel that we are part of the world because we have in the potential worlds and we have a chance to meet them in the real world, in the physical world, thanks to student initiatives and bridge programs. And this is really strengthens the bonds between countries and spread the culture of peace all over the world, because we all feel that we are members not only of a small community or our nations, but we are members of the world, and we feel as one body, feeling each other and sharing our feelings, emotions, everything. And this is really happens thanks to what? Thanks to bridge programs, which is really an international program that enables us to discover the world, as I mentioned earlier. So thank you, really, thank you so much. And what's really, it's difficult to turn my emotions or feelings into words because we know a lot of things thanks to being bridge members and iEARN educators. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rashid, for those beautiful words. And thank you to both of you. You are an inspiration to other educators around the world to connect your students. So I really appreciate the two of you joining today to share. So for those of you watching that are interested in joining Bridge or learning more about the Bridge program, I would just want to share very quickly some ways that you can get involved. We are currently taking applications for our spring 2018 Bridge cohort. So you can visit bridge.iearn.org to apply for that. The program requirements are for teachers to be a middle or high school teacher, and you have to be teaching in one of our partner countries or in the United States. And that runs throughout the majority of the spring 2018. Please share this opportunity out if you have colleagues, friends, family that might be interested in joining the Bridge program. Please share the opportunity with them. And lastly, we would love for anybody watching and is inspired by these couple of teachers who have shared today to make a donation to help bring these professional development opportunities to more educators around the world, and therefore be able to reach more students through these programs and opportunities. We would appreciate any amount of donation to iEARN-USA. You can go to us.iearn.org/donate, make a gift of any amount, and help us bring programs like the Bridge program to more educators and students around the world. So I will stop us there. Thanks again for those guest speakers today. It was great to hear from you, and thanks for those that are watching. I believe we are followed by another Bridge educator who will be talking a bit about some partnerships. We're going to talk about focus on an iEARN partnership and relationship building. So please stay on our Facebook page to catch our next live session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. How am I going to do this session?
My end meeting.
How am I?